Nothing is better than starting your career at the top, so in this list, we'll look at the 10 best rookie debuts in NHL history. And if this is your first time finding my channel, and you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Number 10. Rod Brind'amour. In the 1989 playoffs, Rod Brind'amour made his NHL debut for the St. Louis Blues after the end of his freshman season at Michigan State University. Brind'amour stepped in the lineup in Game 5 of the division semifinals versus the Minnesota North Stars, and he scored his first goal on his first shot. Among the 96 skaters that have made their NHL debuts in the playoffs, only 3 have managed to score a goal, and Rod Brind'amour is the only one to do it on his first shot. It seems this was just a foreshadow of what was to come, as Rod would go on to play in over 1,400 games and score over 1,000 points. Number 9. Bob Champoux. On March 29, 1964, Bob Champoux made his NHL debut in a playoff game for the Detroit Red Wings. In lieu of the injured Terry Sawchuk, Champoux had to step into Game 3 of the semifinal series against the Chicago Blackhawks, which was tied at 1 game apiece. Only 5 goalies have ever made their NHL debut in the playoffs, and Bob Champoux is the lone goaltender to win their start. He helped Detroit defeat Chicago 5-4, but would not play another NHL game until 9 years later for the California Golden Seals, as he would spend most of his career in the minor leagues. Number 8. Derek Stepan. On October 9, 2010, Derek Stepan made his debut with the New York Rangers. Going into his rookie season, there's a lot of hype surrounding Derek Stepan, as he was coming off a dominant performance at the World Juniors and had led Wisconsin to the national championship game the year prior. But Stepan surpassed any expectations placed on him, as he recorded a hat-trick in his 6-3 win over the Buffalo Sabres. Stepan's debut made him the first player in Rangers history and the 4th player in NHL history to score a hat-trick in their debut. Number 7. Wayne Hillman. On April 16, 1961, Wayne Hillman made his debut for the Chicago Blackhawks. On that same day, coincidentally, the Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. This made Wayne Hillman the only player in NHL history to win the Stanley Cup in their NHL debut. This doesn't go to say that Hillman was a complete dud afterwards, as he went on to play in nearly 700 NHL games, but it does prove that timing is everything, because that was the only Stanley Cup championship of his career. Number 6. Fabian Brunnstrom. After being a healthy scratch for the first 2 games of the season, Fabian Brunnstrom played his first game on October 15, 2008. Proving the Dallas Stars coaching staff wrong, Brunnstrom would go on to score a hat-trick that game, and would add a 4th goal as well, but it was controversially disallowed. He became just the 3rd player to score 3 goals in his debut, but was one prematurely blown whistle away from becoming the first to ever score 4 goals in a debut in the last 75 years. His career didn't shape out the way people expected it to after this hot start, as he'd only play about 100 more games before scampering back to Sweden. Number 5. Mario Lemieux. After a lot of controversy following his first overall selection, Mario Lemieux proved that he was ready to put the past behind him, as he made his debut a memorable one. His first game took place on October 11, 1984, against the Boston Bruins, and on his first shift, he stole the puck from future Hall of Fame defenseman Ray Bourque, sped down the ice, and scored his first goal on his first shot on net. This accomplishment of first goal on first shot on first shift has rarely been seen since, and as you all know, Lemieux would go on to become one of the best players of all time. Number 4. Andrew Hammond. On February 18, 2015, Andrew Hammond made his first NHL start against the Montreal Canadiens at the age of 27. He led the Senators to a victory, stopping 42 shots in the 4-2 win, but his hot start doesn't end there. 2 games later, he recorded his first NHL shutout in a 3-0 win against the Anaheim Ducks. Then in the very next game, he shut out the LA Kings 1-0 for 2 consecutive shutout wins. He would continue his unbelievable play throughout the end of the regular season and finish the year with a 20-1-2 record, leading the Ottawa Senators to an unlikely playoff berth. His hot start to his NHL career made him just the 2nd player in NHL history to allow 2 goals or less in each of his first 12 starts. Unfortunately, his hot debut eventually fizzled out, and he's since returned to his regular AHL gig. Number 3. Al Hill. Despite scoring only 95 points throughout his entire career, 5 of those career points would come in one single game, his debut. On February 14, 1977, Al Hill scored 2 goals and 3 assists against the St. Louis Blues. Not only is this the NHL record for most points in a debut, but he also added a little twist to the record. Later in the game, he got into a fight. So not only did Al Hill set the record for most points in a debut, but he also became the first player to ever record a Gordie Howe hat-trick in his debut as well. Number 2. Troy Grosenick. On November 12, 2014, Troy Grosenick was called up to the San Jose Sharks and started in his first NHL game against the Carolina Hurricanes. In a 2-0 win, Grosenick became the 22nd goalie to record a shutout in their debut, which is remarkable in itself, but adding to that record, his 42 saves were the most in a shutout debut in the modern era. He would only play one more game that season, and has not been back up to the NHL since. Number 1. Auston Matthews. This one may require the least amount of explanation, as I'm sure 90% of the population knows about it, but on October 12, 2016, Auston Matthews scored 4 goals against the Ottawa Senators in a 5-4 overtime loss. This was the first time in modern NHL history that a player scored 4 goals in the debut, and it proved to be no fluke, as the number 1 overall pick quickly established himself as one of the top talents in the league afterwards. So, comment down below whose debut should be number 11, 12, and 13. Tell me whose debut you were most surprised by and why. And lastly, make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and to share it with all your friends, family, and pets. If you'd like to personally be able to choose video ideas, recommend something that you'd like to see, or be featured and promoted in every single video that I make, you can do so by donating just $1 to my Patreon for these benefits and more. Go to patreon.com/reapsfilms, or you can just click the link in my bio if you're interested. If you'd like to slide in my DMs, you can do so by following me on Twitter at reapsfilms. I will immediately follow you back, and you can also participate in polls and get updated on videos over there. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.